What is Gucci, y'all? I already fucked up today. I already ate meal one. Terrible. But we have meal two. And we have 160 G's of jasmine rice, 112 beef. I have 100 banana and 20 honey. Fucking fire. I love this meal. Really good little switch up of just the regular meals, how they've been so far. Food has been upped since we are officially in the off season, and we're loving it. We're loving the meals. We're loving the food. I haven't ever been like somebody that can't eat. If anything, I've been the other way around where I could have a little bit more food, but usually is like that, right? But we'll see if in meal three we're gonna get some more twerk done for the day. We're like 11:39, 11:40, so pretty much like just almost midday here. But we'll see if we'll see you for meal three. Okie dokie, y'all. Meal three, we have 100 asparagus chopped up. I have 84 chicken and about 2 G's of salt on there. Probably a little bit more, who knows. I didn't really pay attention, to be honest. This thing right here, though, you can get it on Amazon. It dispenses a half a gram. I don't know if you could see that on there. A half a gram of salt each little click. I think I did click it 4 or 5 times, so two and a half grams of salt. We're gonna eat this. Keep hydrating here. I'm kind of behind, actually. Only drank about 70 ounces of water. Probably been slamming the coffee a little bit too much. So, gonna fill this little water bottle back up. I have another sparkling water too. That's another good way of adding a little bit of extra water if you're not a big water junkie or can kind of drink water like that easily, which I actually love water, so not a big deal for me, but it's another good way of getting water in if you don't really like drinking water is to get the flavored sparkling waters or get the little Mios and just put some shit in it and fucking down it. But either way, it's going to be super important for pump and just overall health. And you want to have like that light lemonade color to your pee. And make sure that you're drinking water if you're thirsty, because if you're thirsty, that means you're already dehydrated. But we're going to eat this, and we'll see y'all for pre. And then we're going to go work out. And then we'll meet you at home for the last meal. Okie dokie, I'm doing a terrible job at this today. So, pre-meal, I have 150 grams of rice. I have 98 chicken. And then, after I'm done eating that, I will have 80 of the blueberry to partner with it. Like I said, I've been doing a terrible job at this today. Kind of busy, kind of dealing with some crazy stuff today, so a little bit unfocused about filming, but we're gonna drop a couple G's of salt, which y'all just saw. Eat this, and then we are getting close to getting out of here and getting this shoulder day off. I'll see y'all whenever we're getting the bait and everything ready. Alright, you guys, so the first movement we got here is the shoulder press using the Atlantis plated. Really loving this machine. It feels really smooth for me. I'm using the attachment that is on the inner portion of the hand placement there, just so that way I can keep my elbows in front of me. Feels the best for me comfortability wise, and also I can keep all the tension on my shoulder, which that's what you want in the shoulder movements. I have two top sets here, the main top set, and then we have actually three top sets, and then we have two back offs. So this is the first back off, slightly pausing at the bottom and exploding up. You want to make sure that you're using as much force production as possible when you are on the concentric portion of the movement. So the upwards portion of the movement. That way you can recruit all the muscle fibers possible that are there. The more force production you use, the better. You're going to get stronger over time, much quicker than somebody that doesn't use that explosion. Also, if you play sports, other sports, this will translate into whatever sport that you're playing. Got the third back offset here, 40 pounds. We are, again, slightly pausing. The shoulders are on the back pad of the seat. Make sure you are not arching too much because it will change the angle of your shoulder press and you will be using more chest and less delt. Second movement of the evening, we have a Atlantis shoulder raise. This one's pretty fire. Kind of don't like the fact that the handles are, I don't know, they kind of feel weird sometimes for me. But other than that, this machine is still pretty good. So we have our first top set here. Second top set is drop set. Lots of drop sets on this session. So you will be seeing me kind of pop off the machine and on the machine again. Not using any momentum, just using straight delt. And we are slightly keeping our arms in front of us. So that will allow for you to raise up without using too much trap. If you feel that you're using a lot of trap and your traps are getting more of a pump from this than your shoulders are, have a little lean in your body so you can actually hip hinge back a little bit on this. Whenever I reset the movement here, you're going to see me kind of hinge back a little bit, and this will help keep everything, there it is right there. This will help everything keep in the same plane that we need it to be so that way we can use all delt. That's the whole point. So shoulder days for me, they're both shoulder days come off of a rest day. So if you're trying to prioritize a body part, that's most likely what you should do is put them right after a rest day. That way you can have the most energy, you can be nice and recovered, and you can really push your physique forward inside body part that you're trying to grow. So this is obviously something that is important for me, especially being a figure girl. Shoulders, lats, quads, those are all super important. So do everything in your power to make sure that you're doing the movement as correctly as possible. Next movement of the day we have here is the Y raise, dumbbell Y raise. So these are fire. I don't know if you guys have ever tried these. I don't see very many people doing these at all. So I'm under the assumption that you probably aren't. But we're setting the seats here like a little lean, so that way your body can slightly little lean. And then we are raising them up. Slight little pause at the top. And this is a nice little angle for your shoulders just to have some variety. And we are two top sets here, so one top set and a drop set. But obviously with shoulders, it's a smaller body part. So I suggest always taking it to failure, even past failure. If you could get some partials, definitely do it. You can beat these things up and you really won't feel the difference at all with any recovery capacity. And if you do, I don't know, you're a freak of nature because I've literally through the years have always done drop sets, rest pause sets, partials, lots of partials, even partials with weight that you can't even raise up just to kind of stimulate the muscle in a different way. And I've never really had any issues recovering. So you should be able to beat these things up and make them gross. That way you can look like Frieza from Dragon Ball Z. But we are taking this to failure. Trying to get these last couple reps eked out. And then we're going to go into our droppy. Okie dokie, next movement of the evening, we have a front raise cable using the wrist cuffs. I really like using the wrist cuffs. They keep my forearm out of the movement. That way it doesn't put any tension on that because you're grabbing the handle. At least for me, that's how it happens. So we use the wrist cuffs. I am thinking about basically ending the movement right in front of my eyes. So bringing the hand not just straight out, but straight out and towards the midline of your body. So your front delt actually shortens by coming across your body like that. So whenever you come across your body just ever so slightly, you are shortening the front delt all the way. So I am thinking about actively making sure that the movement ends up like that. So we're again top set and drop set is for the back off. So we will be the top set, you should always treat it as like your main mover, right? Not saying that the second set is any less or the drop set's any less, but that's like your heaviest of all heaviest for the amount of reps that you want. So if your rep range is 9 to 10 or 9 to 12 or whatever, then you should be moving that top set for the most amount of weight for 9 reps, like failing on 9 reps. And then from your rest pause sets or drop sets or back off sets after, that's when you're still in that rep range and you are getting that higher rep range. I don't know if you guys see the little baby plates on this, but I also bought Amazon love to see me coming, bro. Cause I be buying so much fucking workout shit from them, but I have the little 1.25 pound plates because that will allow me to progress, especially in shoulders where I'm a smaller person. You're not going to take 5 pound jumps all the time. So micro loading is going to be a good way to make sure that you're continuously progressing, and that's what I do. I drop them little 1.25 pound plates, so that way I have two on there. It's 2.5 pounds, so that way I am getting 2.5 pounds more than I did last week. So this is the other arm, but easy to buy. I think it was like 35 bucks, 40 bucks. Really goes by weight for anything that is like a dumbbell or anything like that. But still pretty cheap and still doable, and you can definitely get it off of Amazon for yourself and make sure that you're continuously progressing. Okay, last movement of the evening. We have a superset of a face pull and a rear delt fly. So this is an awesome way to set up your face pull if your weight that you're doing is more than your body weight. So if I do these, this will 100% not put me in a position that I'm able to pull this weight to my face and not be unstable. So what I do is I sit my ass down and I anchor with my left foot, and that way the only thing that's working is my rear delt and my upper back. So if you want to grow your upper back and rear delts, this is a fantastic movement. As long as you're not using too much body English, this is the way you want to go. So we go straight in from this movement to the rear delt fly. This particular day, there was somebody on the fly machine whenever I went to go over there. So we ended up splitting it up. But usually, what I'm doing is going straight from one to the next and making sure that you're keeping track of everything so that way next week you can beat it. That's what the whole logbook thing is for, which I will talk about that here in a second. Could be good, could be bad. Either way, it's a good tool. All these things are just tools, right? So that way we can make sure that we're progressing. All right, last little portion of the superset. we have a rear delt fly. One thing I noticed is I was going real far back with this. Nothing wrong with that. Especially because I'm trying to work on a little bit of upper back as well. But if you want to strictly work your rear delts in this, I would stop shorter. So that's what's good about filming your workouts. Even though some people don't like doing that, most people don't like doing that, I've noticed. But you could always check your form and redo your form. So for these, I've started to stop a little bit shorter, so that way I'm isolating that rear delt. But think about swiping to the walls. So a lot of folks, if you see how I initiate the movement, I'm pushing out. My arms are straight out. They never are bent, and they stay straight. So that way the rear delt can use all the work. But think about this whenever you're doing your rear delts, and make sure that you're not kind of changing the movement by changing your hand placement and your elbow placement. But we will burn these things out, and that's the end of shoulders. Just got done with the workout. Kind of annoyed actually because of this camera. I don't know what's going on with it, but it's not necessarily picking up everything that I want it to pick up. Maybe it's the memory card. I'm not sure. I don't know enough about cameras and editing and shit in order to tell, but we're gonna figure it out. So, hit a shoulder day, have a little bit of new food that's currently in. I will actually partner a full day of eating tomorrow with this video, just because I've been wanting to do that with the new food and I keep forgetting to do that. I actually tried to do that today, but I forgot like half the meals and I was already pretty much done with the food by the time I remembered. So that's not ideal. We're gonna go ahead and redo that tomorrow and make sure that that's in here. That way we get a little bit of more content. Had a really good shoulder workout. Everything's starting to come into its own with the new protocol. More food, the supplements that we are taking and super subs, are saturation level is going to be this week, so we will start feeling the effects of that. Not gonna lie, I did feel a really big difference today in regards to pump and also the rep range, and being able to surpass the rep range in a couple lifts that I've been having a little trouble progressing on. So that's awesome. That's great. I really love training hard, training heavy. I am a log booker, so that could be good and bad at the same time, because if I don't logbook, sometimes I don't feel like I'm progressing, but I know that's not everything, so I try to remember that as well. And a lot of factors could really hinder a session from progressing. It could be your sleep, it could be hydration, it could be stress, outside stressors. It could be so many things. So if you don't progress in that session, I would just chalk it up and make sure that you're doing whatever you can in order to make the next one better. Whether if any of the things that I just said are a factor, then that's something that you have to pay attention to and make sure that you're correcting. Really, for your training sessions, everything leading up into that training session should be aligning with that. So if you're a bodybuilder and you're truly trying to push your physique forward in order to be competitive in whatever class that you're in, then you kind of have to center your entire day around that one training session. Training is going to be the most important thing other than sleep and food. So that is definitely something to pay attention to and something to reevaluate, and always reevaluate. Every day you should be thinking about how to get better. And as a bodybuilder, you should already know off the top of your head things that you're not doing. And I mean, if you're not, then you have to be a little self-aware. So basically gonna go home, hit the remainder of my steps, which I stayed pretty active today. I was on the phone a couple times. I made sure I walked around. Sometimes whenever I don't do that, I end up having like 30 something minutes of cardio, which we just got done, and then I have to go home and take care of 4,000 to 5,000 steps. So that's not fun. 1,000 steps takes like 10 minutes with my short self. I'm 5 foot, so that fucking sucks. 40 to 50 minutes on top of the 30-minute cardio. So not ideal. Today we only have maybe 10 more minutes, so 1,000 steps left. So I am a happy camper. Rolling along here, I'm gonna be getting stronger, gonna be seeing the logbook progress, gonna be seeing the food come up, the weight come up. This is by far the leanest and the heaviest I've ever been at this stage of a push-up. I've kept a good condition. Mark actually has me coming off of a little mini cut, a little cleanup phase. Got insulin sensitivity back in a really good spot, mid 80s, low 80s, and just better body composition. You're gonna be able to partition nutrients a lot better. The insulin does work with, or help with that, with partitioning nutrients. That's basically what it's doing. It's shuttling the food and the nutrients into the muscle before you go train. So that is really awesome, but also staying insulin sensitive is gonna help with all your meals, even on off days, and being able to partition your nutrients so that way your body can use everything as best its ability to build all the muscle, all those amino acids being worked into play. So loving that. Like I said, I'm going to do my best to actually remember every meal, take y'all through the day tomorrow. Maybe I'll throw in a little morning routine. We'll see if I have enough time. Usually in the mornings, I'm like go from 6 in the morning all the way to the time that I leave in the morning at 8:30. So yeah, like I said, we'll see. But I have probably a quickish ride home. I take the highway, so probably shouldn't be doing that in the Camaro, but we're gonna take the highway home. Takes me, let's see here, 24 minutes. Okay. Oh, that's 24 minutes total. All right, so what we have, 13 minutes left. So we've been on the road for like 10 minutes. Not a big deal. And honestly, if you find a really good gym and you have a good flow and nobody kind of fucks with you in the gym, you're just training, you're just doing your thing, I would drive all day to that gym. So that's kind of what I'm doing. And from work, it's not that far. It's 17 minutes, literally, even in traffic, to the gym. So really close. I could time everything up pretty perfect. It is season here in Naples, so everything will start getting a little bit crazier, especially after New Year. But we have a couple gyms really close that we could just pop in and get our shit done, so not a big deal. We'll find a way. We always find a way. But I'm gonna go ahead and take care of this 12-minute drive, and I'll see y'all tomorrow for that full day eating.